are you to doubt El Dandy?
This is Robbie Eagles.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
Hi, this is Mimic. This is 5 times the world's heavyweight champion, the Scrap Daddy himself, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce.
This is Brian Alvarez, and you are listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome to the show, folks. My name is Josh Armour, and thanks very much for downloading Wrestle Radio Australia. This is our first episode.
Oh, yeah! G'day, this is Big Brody Marshall.
This is Brian Alvarez.
This is Dean Brady of the Millennials.
This is Jurassic Punk Sid Parker.
How many of you guys have heard the term KP?
Hello, doggers. This is Jay Hunter from OSW Review.
This is Matt Grim Basso.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
This is Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and you are locked in
to Wrestle Radio Australia.
I in the game, I'm champion, I'm Triple H. Undertaker, I'm your maker, bury the brother like Kane. Ooh, 1-3, hit the tombstone, hit the choke slam on face. Ooh, yeah, like a macho heel, tell like country muscle. If you suffer like tomatoes, I'ma keep a couple models. Ooh, and you may call me HBK. When I'm tuning up the vein, you best be getting in my way. Ooh, yeah, I'm degenerate, I love it, yes, I love it. If you ain't down with that, then I got 2 words for you, suck it. Too sweet, put your fangs up. Too sweet, hold another cup. Let's be busy, 23, got me feeling way too sweet.
I was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. But a square peg in a round hole just never seems to fit.
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch.
It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to Wrestle Radio Australia, Australia's longest running podcast. Well, I trip over my words. I'm your host for the evening, Jeff Setti. Lachlan Albert is once again away. Todd, I reckon if Lachlan is away one more time this year, we'll show him the appropriate amount of support and love like we always do. That's right.
Yes.
We reach out to our mates and we make sure they're okay. With me, as always, is the manager of champions, the best manager ever. It's Toddy the Brain Eastman. Todd, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I am fighting fit. Thank you very much. Fighting fit. As always, you can join us on Facebook, YouTube, or live here at Twitch, twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia. I'm fighting so fit, I'm fighting to survive, which is quite ironic because that is the name of the show that we're looking at. It's just a couple of weeks ago. It's up now all over the shop, Stream Horizon. You can watch it on. Let's firstly talk about the event. What do you think of this one, Todd?
I actually really enjoyed it. I was going into it because there were a couple of questions I had with some of the things that were going on, like match-wise, and we'll talk about that as we go through. But watching the show as a whole, I actually really, really enjoyed it.
I would concur with that. This, as you know, I was in the building, and this was one loud crowd. This crowd were very, very loud. Jamie Apps Media there with Who Needs Lachlan for Segways. I do. That's my form of transport. Thank you very much. And he provides them. There were a few things, just a couple of small things, but the show held together really, really well. It opened up, of course, with a Lucky O'Leary defeating the Tuck Man. What did you think of this, Todd?
I thought that it was really good gimmick work by both guys. Like especially like Tuckman, just gimmick out the wazoo. It really worked the mesh of the two guys and the beer versus the Lucky Liquid or whatever it was called. I think it's called the mesh of that sort of thing, and really, really enjoyed the match. The only thing I would have changed out of this whole thing was at the end when of course Tucky loses by jumping up and accidentally slipping on something that he'd poured the beer over, He slipped on the rope and then fell into. I would have had at least Lucky hit a finish move before he did that. Because they kicked out of so much other little stuff that didn't really seem like enough for Lucky to get the pin.
Yeah, I don't entirely agree with you. It's the old, he was hoisted by his own petard, which we do see reasonably often in wrestling, and I think that it was a nice character touch for him to lose that way. I think in this instance, you and I will have to agree to disagree. I do agree, though, the character work was fantastic. Lucky has become such a good character, and Tucky, Tucky's great, and a really nice bloke as well. So, a great showing from both to be in that position of opening the show, which is such an important position. Very, very.
Can I also say, Lindsay Howarth looking amazing.
How much weight has that man lost?
He looks amazing. Yeah. Like, congratulations to him. Like, I don't really know Lindsay. I haven't really met him or anything, but congratulations, mate. You look amazing. Well done.
Well, I know Lindsay a little bit better, and I don't get to talk to him often, but obviously I do know him a little bit. And I'll be honest, he walked out and I went, "Oh, there's a new ring announcer." Hang on, that's Lindsay. Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
He's looking slim and fit and fantastic, and good on Lindsay for getting into that shape. But yeah, look, a great match. From there, we moved on to the MCW Women's Title match, which is the first time an Islander and an Indigenous Australian have fought for a title in Australia, which is so exciting. And the fact that it's a women's title, that's just beautiful. Erica Reid defeated Eugenie. What did you think of this one, Todd?
I like it because it was obviously the start of what they're going to be doing. Like, it's obviously the start of something that's going to be going on. And they went out of their way to establish Eugenie as an absolute beast.
Yes, they did.
Which is something that you kind of need to do with a character that, like, Melbourne wrestling fans really would never have seen. Like, until that tag match, they'd never seen it before. So they'd never seen her in a singles sort of realm. Mm-hmm. And to have Erica give her as much offense as she did was amazing. And it's so smart because it sets her up as this big monster going forward. And the fact that she just eked out the win and then have Eugenie attack her again after the bell and just adds more to what's going to be going on further in December. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was a good showing by Eugenie. Eugenie really stepped up and knocked it out of the park with it too.
Yeah, I agree with you. She completely did. My issue with this is Eugenie smiles, and this is going to sound a bit like a boyhood crush, but it's not meant to. And the whole room lights up. She's just got that infectious smile that makes you smile. So I'm wondering how long they can actually keep her as a heel for, because she smiles like as a human being. She's enjoying herself wrestling, so she smiles. And Jamie said it. Eugenie is too nice at times. It's almost like the crowd really want her to be a face, because even when she threw the referee, she got a bigger pop than most people throwing the referee. I think that this was a really nice match. In the building, the crowd were loud for this. Yes, they wanted Erica to win. I personally would have had a different ending as it's going to continue. I would have had a count out or a double DQ or something else, not because Eugenie doesn't look strong, but Erica looked like she got away with a fluke. And I don't like that as a champion defense.
You see, the problem with that is they've just come off that thing with the first thing where she did they went to the best of.
Yeah.
So you can't really do that. You can't just go back to that well. And, like, I don't mind the fact that she just outsmarted her and got a win. She out-wrestled her.
I can see your point. But she was great. She really looked like on point. Everything hit well and had meaning and really good. And the both of them are such great athletes. I did mention to both of them the cultural importance of it and how nice it was that MCW didn't just dive into making that the point of the match. They made it about two amazing athletes and the title, which was so important in that instance. I love this match. I thought it was great. And as I mentioned to you before we came on air, it was the third longest match of the night. Like, that's pretty good. After that, we came to, with our special guest referee, Jarvis, Robbie Thorpe defending the Intercommonwealth title against Lucas Fantasia. I'm just going to jump in before I ask you your opinion. I've been sitting in that MCW crowd off and on now for 8 years. Right, through previous ownerships. Just after COVID, I missed about a year, but I'm back there now. I've been there for about 2 years at the moment, and I have never heard a debut pop as loud as the one for Lucas Fantasia. Lucas was fantastic. The beauty of Lucas is he is 1,000% true, and I apologize. Lucas's pronouns may be they, them. If anyone knows and would like to put it in the chat, I would appreciate it. But the pop for Lucas was incredible. I was so inspired by that pop, and you could tell that Lucas was just loving that. And a great match. Like for a match that was more about the storyline than the match, it was a really good match. What are your thoughts, Todd?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I've got the same sneakers as Jarvis. Those red sneakers. They are, and they're not easy to get. So well done, mate. You did well.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. You don't care about portion of the night. Continue, Todd.
I can't help it. I collect sneakers. I like sneakers, and I notice when someone has ones that are hard or that aren't exactly normal ones to get. So there you go. I thought this was a really good way of showcasing Lucas and introducing him to that crowd to see how he gets over. And also telling the story of Jarvis and Robbie Thorpe, sorry.
Robbie.
Because it was really at the end that, like, Jarvis tried to turn at the end and it didn't work. And he got away with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one noticed that he tried to turn, and so that feeds on this. It was a good way of showcasing Lucas, but still telling the Jarvis and Thorpe story.
Yeah, it was great for a new wrestler. And Jamie has just chimed in with that's because you have 10,000 pairs of shoes. Well said, Jamie.
That's true.
He came here. He came to Melbourne last year. I think there were 4 pairs of shoes earlier this year. When we went to StarCast, you had 4 pairs of shoes.
I bought 3.
3. Where was I? I lost track because we've done it. See what you've done? You've derailed the show.
Sorry.
You're right, mate.
Fantasia, mate.
You're right, mate. Look, Robbie gave Lucas so much offense, and it shows you how good Robbie Thorpe is. It shows you how much of a talent that young man is. And a very handsome man, Robbie. There, I said it. You can give me $20. I also think that this Jarvis Robbie Icons thing is just starting. I'm really interested, and a lot of people are on board for it. The pop, when it eventually happens, is going to be fucking huge. It really will. I love this match, and it was all action. It didn't slow down, and Lucas taking selfies. You knew straight away more about Lucas's character, and then Robbie grabbing the phone and taking selfies. Just such great heel work and face work. I loved it. I really did. I so loved it. It was probably my second favorite match of the night. Big surprise of what my favourite's going to be. We're talking about it in about 3 minutes after we talk about the Midnight 3 of Carlo, Cannon, and Emin Usman, accompanied by Jean Nguyen, defeating the Natural Classics of Stevie Philippe and Tome Philippe. This was an interesting one in ring and being in the room. What did you think of this, Todd?
No, you tell me what you mean by that. I want to.
Okay. I think that the MCW crowd are very, very overexposed to the natural classics. I think that despite the fact that the natural classics clearly acted in a face role, the crowd are just, there's very little crowd reaction at the moment because they're not reaching the heights that they were even a year ago. Even in the series against Robbie Eagles and Fujita. So I think that despite the fact that the natural classics were your faces, when the Midnight 3 won, there was actually a pop. Like they actually got a considerable pop. I don't know if it transferred on the video. There was certainly no booing. There was certainly no, oh no, those guys won. And their little celebration afterwards got an even bigger pop. Part of that is because Carlo and Eamon and even John, so much charisma in that presentation. And I think that, the natural classics are at the point where they're overexposed. And it's that old thing of how can we miss you if you can't go away?
Yeah. Look, I thought it was a good match. They're not using Zhang Wen properly in the heat. He just stands there till it's his time to get up on the apron and distract someone for the finish. Where they should be throwing one of the classics out, then going over to the other guy and distracting him, having him come into the ring, and then have Zhang Wen attacking the guy on the outside, putting that heat on. And they're not doing that. They're just having him stand there like a spare dick until it's time for him to stand up on the apron. And it's useless. Why have him out there if that's what you're going to do? Have him run out from the back. Yeah. Like, when you've got a dude that looks like Zhang Wen, you use him. You throw that guy out. You distract the other guy, the other Philippe, so they come in to distract the ref for you. And you go out there and you double team him, or you let Zhang Wen run him into posts. And that's the whole idea of having the third guy out there. And I don't understand why they're not using him. So there you go. That's my rant on that.
No, I kind of agree with you. I see what your point is there. But despite my issues with the natural classics, and it's not just me, the crowd audibly get quieter during their matches at the moment. I was highly entertained by the match. I thought the match was really good, especially some of the double team maneuvers from Carlo and Eamon. Like they used the big guy, little guy disparity really well.
Yeah. The match itself was good. I don't like when you've got something there that you can use and you just don't. That's what it annoys me. I'm like, why aren't we using this guy? Why aren't we? He looks like $1 million.
Yeah, I dig that. We then had a break, and that was nice. There was a break. After the break was my match of the night. Big surprise. Knockout or tap-out match. Mitch Waterman defeating Ryan Rapid by referee's decision. And it's had just under 15 minutes. This was fantastic. This was always going to be fantastic. And the crowd were on board from the get-go. These guys are so good in ring together. I almost want to see them as a tag team. I wouldn't be surprised if MCW go, hey, you know what? These two would work as a tag team. Both of them are such great talents. Look, if the end of that, the clowns with Moretti, if the end result is that we get to see more of Ryan Rapid, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
I don't like how it was introduced, but it worked. Just the maneuvers and the quickness and the speed. And then at the end, there was a nice show of respect, which I kind of dug because clearly this is the third match between the two. I'd say that's it, but like I said, wouldn't be surprised if they start teaming together or something. In a student-teacher relationship, even though Rapid's just left that, but it would be a good spot, and MCW certainly needs more tag teams. Todd, the flash of lightning, as I mentioned, that MCW need more tag teams means that I shouldn't have mentioned it. What did you think of that?
No, I completely agree. That was my match of the night as well, watching this back. Rapid seemed more over in this one than I'd heard before. Like when he came out, he got a big pop. At least that's the way it transferred on on the video. I don't know if it was the same in the building.
Yes.
I loved Mitch's selling. The selling of the ankle during the show, during the match. Loved it. Thought it was really good because he didn't really forget about it for a lot of the time. He kept going back to it. There were a couple of things there where I was just like, why? I don't understand why you... I know that this is the spot you wanted to do. Like when he did the spot where Rapid gets up on the railing and walked across to do something to thing on the floor, wood floor. I don't understand that at all. Why you would do that without... Like, I don't know what he was going for that would have hurt more than what it wouldn't have hurt on the padding. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I'm like, I have no idea why you did that. At least body slam him there first before you do it. But, like, it is what it is. Obviously, it was what they wanted to do. Love the finish. The way that the finish was filmed was great. You wouldn't have seen it, of course, but the way they filmed the knockout was really, really well done. So, kudos to the production team for that as well.
I'll have to watch it. It was... I really liked the business in the ropes, the submission hold in the ropes they did early in the match. Beautifully done.
Yeah, just a little bit of defiance too before like Mitch finally finished him off. Loved it. The middle finger, like "fuck you, I'm not giving up" sort of thing. I love that as well. This was the match of the night for me as well. I thought it was really good.
Easily.
And
it's
great.
Like,
it's great that Rapid had that spot to be able to be in a match of the night.
And no surprise, when the snap, crackle, and pop, I can't remember what they call Mick Moretti's mindfuckery, came together. That's what we'll call them, Mick Moretti's mindfuckery. When they came together, we said that Rapid is the star.
And
because
it was easy to see.
I'm glad that he's come away with this. You know, he's come away with this star-making performance again. Can you see them as a tag team?
I can, but yet I don't know if I'd want to. Like, Mitch really has just broken out of that mold of being the tag team guy with...
I don't agree.
I mean, like, he's spent a long time breaking out of being, like, the Rat Pack guy that is now a singles guy. I feel it would be a step back that he went back to a tag team.
Okay. I respect that. Speaking of tag teams, we had a couple of tag teams in this next match. See what I did there? Lachlan, take lessons. Write notes.
This was the main event, by the way.
Yeah, our main event was the Fight to Survive 10-man tag match. I'll go through all the results, and then we'll discuss it overall. The Allegiance of Vengeance with K-Man Arc, Edward Dusk, Eli Theseus, Gabriel Eros, and special guest Mikey Broderick Squat defeated Team Icons Adam Brooks, John Bernard Kairouz, Nick Kairouz, Ricky South, and Slex in 24 minutes and 20 seconds. K-Man Arc defeated Nick Kairouz, eliminated Nick Kairouz in 8:24. Edward Dusk and Ricky South just beat the shit out of each other.
Counted out.
It was a count out. Yeah, it was a count out. Eli Theseus eliminated Jean Bernard Kairouz. Adam Brooks eliminated Eli Theseus. Slex eliminated Mikey Broderick. K-Man Arc eliminated Slex. Adam Brooks eliminated K-Man Arc, and Gabriel Eros eliminates Adam Brooks. The condition was that the winner gets to choose the type of match at Endgame, which is on Sunday, December 8th. We'll talk about more about that in a minute. But the Parea chose a 2 out of 3 falls.
3 stages of hell match.
3 stages of hell match. Yeah, I was getting to it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. What did you think of this, Todd? What did you think of the whole thing in 24 minutes?
Okay, well, first of all, the Allegiance of Vengeance is possibly the worst name I've heard for a team since the Alliance to End Hulkamania. That is, I was like, wow.
How dare you, sir?
Well, I'm just like, oh, come on, guys, you could have come up with something, surely, like the extended Parea, something better than that. Was a hell of a mouthful to say for the poor commentators. Going into it, I was like, Jesus, why have we got the TikTok guys there? Why have we, like, if I am Rocky Monero, and speaking purely from a character standpoint, I'm going and finding the 2 biggest motherfuckers I can find to be in that tag team. Not 2 guys that have never wrestled before. because I want to make it as hard as possible for the Pariah to win that match.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So that, like, speaking purely of the match, the guys did well. They were taught well, and what they were given, they executed quite well. So, like, you could tell they were very green, but what they were given, they weren't given too much, and they were given just enough that they didn't embarrass themselves, which could have easily happened.
Okay. For me,
yes,
they didn't quite. I'm hosting tonight. I've got to say it that way. They didn't
of course
hold up their end of the deal. Quite. They came close. They did well. They clearly respected the people they were in the ring with, and they did the right thing. But I think they were a bit overwhelmed. I think there were moments where they were a bit just sort of overwhelmed at what was going on in front of them. It worked better than if they were faces. That's almost certain. Like if they were in the alliance to end Icon Mania, then they're thank you. I'm quite proud of that. Then
it was good.
Yeah, thank you. Then they would have been absolutely lost at sea. But because they were heels, they could kind of rely a bit more on being just shitty. But I thought that they did hold their end up okay. And otherwise, this was a really fun 10-man tag.
Andy for Zaria says, I still have no idea who they are, so I'm not sure what they got out of the deal. They got to be wrestlers.
Andy is from Bob Van's Refrigeration still.
Ah, okay. But yeah, they got to be wrestlers. That's what, obviously, they're wrestling fans, and they got to be wrestlers for a night.
Yeah, and good for them.
Which is obviously, obviously what they wanted. And they obviously have, of course, I'm too old for TikTok, so I don't know what they do on there and that sort of deal, so I have no idea who they are. But they obviously have a following, and that's what MCW wanted to try and tap into.
Yeah.
So it was obviously a deal that worked out well for both parties, so that's why they went with it. Personally, if it was me, I would have said something like, hey, Dusky, see if you can get back pain to come and be in there. Because then you've got, like, instead of those guys. But I understand why they're there. I understand what they were doing in that spot completely.
Oh, for sure.
The actual match, I really enjoyed because they went through the spots where you have to have those things where all of them, like, fight off and they do their spots and the little bits where they you know what I mean? They little bits where they showcase certain people in their right spots. And the fact that they won it by the Pariah kind of doing what the Icons would do, like interfere and cheat and all that, it was a nice little payoff to go into the final match. So I really enjoyed the match. They did it right because they eliminated one of the TikTok guys first. The other two fought off like Dusk and South, and then they eliminated the other Carews brother after that by one of the Pariah. Like when the first guy got eliminated by Ugg, I was like, oh, please don't let someone else get eliminated by someone who's not the Pariah. Because one of the Pariah needed to eliminate one of those brothers. Do you know what I mean? They needed to do that but it was well done. And this has to set up surely Ugg going after Slex now because he's pinned him.
You would expect so.
Yeah.
As Jamie said, though, the Kairos brothers have 72.2 thousand followers on TikTok. So it's amazing exposure for MCW, and it is. And as I said, they weren't the drizzling shits. Like they did.
No, they weren't. And they're in great shape. It's not like they're like.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not me out there. They're not me and Lachlan, but they absolutely held up their end of the deal, and it was good to see, and it was good on MCW for giving them a spot, good on the Kairos brothers for doing the spot. I hope they continue. I hope they train and get better because the little bits like the elbow off the top rope was really nice. I think it was Jean Bernard delivered an elbow off the top rope. So
what they did quite well.
If they train and get themselves to the point where they can actually do it all, that'll be great.
That's if that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know if that's what. And because they're in Sydney, I mean, I would imagine, being that they're from Sydney, they were probably going to PWA training with Ricky.
Yeah.
For the last, I don't know how long. So.
Yeah. You're probably right. You're probably right. They're probably training with Ricky and Robbie and Alex and a few other people. I really I enjoyed the heat on Brooks when he pinned Doug. There was enormous heat on Brooks when he pinned Doug, which is so good. Look, all up, I thought this was terrific. The crowd stayed ultra hot for it. I was going, this will be around 30 minutes. I want to see if the crowd stay hot, and they did.
I actually thought there was going to be a screw up when Thorpe come in. I thought, because I hadn't seen the results, I made sure I didn't see the results before watching the thing. And I really thought that Thorpe was going to screw up and somehow cost Brooksy to get pinned.
Yeah.
Because that would have fed into that story more.
Yeah.
So it was kind of surprising when he did it, and it actually helped Brooksy, and Brooksy was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah," and he's finished and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that was the one thing that surprised me. I thought, oh, they're gonna fuck this up, and it's gonna cause heat between Brooksy and more heat than that's what's already there. So, but yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good little touch for those watching the actual video that Rocky was on commentary.
Yes.
So that was good. Especially when they had the spot where Robbie came out to interfere. Before he did that, on commentary, they commented that Rocky was messaging someone.
That's
like, who are you messaging? Oh, just getting Uber Eats, mate.
Just getting Uber Eats.
Yeah. So I liked it. I thought that was good. Overall, I really, really liked the show, and I thought it set the table quite well for Endgame.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely it does. I'm very, very excited for Endgame in about a month, 6 weeks. You can get your tickets now. It's upcoming at the Melbourne Pavilion at 2 p.m. on Sunday, December 8th, MCW Endgame 2024. So far, as we mentioned, the 3 stages of Hell match of the Icons against the Pariah. I think first fall is a normal match. Second fall is ladder. And then it's a falls count anyway. I think that's it. I did read it somewhere during the week.
Okay.
Anyone knows, please put it in the comments. MCW Women's title, Erica Reed against Eugenie. That is a falls count anyway match, isn't it?
I don't know. All I thought was like Battle of the Warriors or War of the Warriors.
Oh, that's right. War of the Warriors. And, of course, we have the Sacrament, Richard South against Edward Dusk. Amazing.
I like that they've brought it back for the last show of the year. Because he hasn't done it at all this year.
I think that's really, really nice. There's a lot of other things going on in Australia, and that is even nicer. Oh, by the way, if you want to check out Fight to Survive, and we think you should, it's on Stream Horizon for free. MCW shows are now put up on Stream Horizon for absolutely free, and you can watch them to your heart's content. And hey, why not watch this show and a bunch of other MCW events, because they're all up there. But this is a particularly good show. I was so impressed, and I'm looking forward to seeing where things are at the end of the year and where people stand. And it'll be an interesting few months, depending on who wins and who loses titles. You would have to think that we will see Ugg against Lex. You would have to.
Yeah, you would. I don't know if it's on Endgame, because I think, isn't Slex going to America for a bit?
Is he? I didn't know that.
I think so. I remember hearing it somewhere. Oh God, I hope I haven't said something I wasn't supposed to.
That's all right. You can edit it out. Not that you ever edit. Coming up in just a couple of weeks, Renegades of Wrestling Indestructible. It's on November 24 at Northcote Theatre. Hey, it's up the top. Our headliner is Mitch Waterman against Emin Asman for the Renegades of Wrestling title. Tyson Reed against Matty Romano. And the Falls Count Anywhere of the Glow Up of Charlie Rose and Rochelle Rogue against Starlux of Tali and Katie Lux. It's going to be an interesting show. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Of course, this weekend on Saturday, Oz Pro Wrestling in Ringwood, Kickstart the Heart. Very family-friendly pro wrestling. After that show is going to be an episode of On the Turnbuckle. So that'll be really, really good. I will need to talk to you after the show, after all, Todd, about the next thing. EPW Reawakening is on December 23 from Willetton Stadium, which is a new place for EPW. Get yourselves there. It is going to be phenomenal. Reawakening is always their best show of the year, and boy, howdy, this is going to be fantastic. The four-way for the EPW Championship, Marcus Pitt against the current champion, against Taylor King, against Jesse Lambert, and against Radmaker Kingston. Todd, pick a winner.
Wrestling.
Great. The Triple Threat Tag Team Championship, DNT against ATO against the Pulse. Todd, pick a winner.
ATO.
ATO, okay. Tyler Jacobs' final match. It's an unsanctioned match against, I would never forget Taylor King, and that's for a different reason there, Jamie. I'll explain sometime. Jamie's glad I remembered Taylor King. Tyler Jacobs' final fight, an unsanctioned match against James Hartness. What a contribution Tyler Jacobs has made, specifically to Perth, but to wrestling. And thank you for everything, Taylor. I think James is going to win that. I think the tradition of losing your last match will.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a fight between the two of them to lose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think both of them want to put the other one over. But
I mean, Hartness is such a great bloke as well, and very, very funny. The EPW Invitational Finals, CJL against Hayden Zenith. You got to think Hayden's going to take that out.
You want him to, which is the idea of it. Like,
absolutely.
CJL's done enough shit now that he deserves these comeuppance.
Yes. And then the last one, the pen, last one on our list, that's just going to be garbage. Damian Slater against Solomon Blackwell. I mean, really, who wants to see that apart from everyone in the country? It's going to be phenomenal. Shut up and take my money. I don't even know who's going to win that. I think Solomon will, but I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think Solomon will, but he kicked me in the face, so I would want Damian Slater to win. He caused me to lose to AJ Istria. No, he caused me to lose AJ Istria. I would have beaten AJ.
Well, there you go.
Pretty
Solomon's
sure.
going to win that. Slam Pro Wrestling have Rage in a Cage 2 on November 2nd. 1,500 tickets have already been sold. Still some available at slamprotix.com.au. Of course, MCW ticks are available at mcwtix.com.au. Renegades as well. Just have a look on their website. EPW, have a look on their website. Slamprotix.com.au. Have a look for the tickets there.
But yeah, if you're in Canberra this weekend, definitely get to that show. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that is
going to be amazing.
A couple of nights away. Lachlan and I were actually at Rage in a Cage 1 last year, and it was great. So I imagine 2 will be very good. I will not be there this year because I have other commitments. Future shows. Tickets for the Pro Wrestling Leagues with Renegades of Wrestling Australian Wrestling Super Show for the night before AEW Grand Slam are on sale right now through Outix. That is Outix, not Oztix. Please be careful. If you go to Oztix and don't sit there, don't be disappointed. Go to Outix and buy them. Ringside seats are sold out. Todd, anything you want to drop? Any kind of sneakies? Anything you can say?
They still haven't really divulged anything as of yet. So
okay.
All I can say is that the floor seating is selling out really well. So if you want floor seating, you don't want to end up in the mezz, I would get around them.
Yeah, great. Sounds like such a good night. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a great show. If the Perth show earlier on this year is anything to go by, this will be amazing. And Andy from Bob Vance Refrigeration has 4 non-wrestling friends in Brisbane coming to that show. Can't wait. Gosh, you can't. It's going to be fantastic. World Series Wrestling celebrating their 20th anniversary. We have so far announced Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, Ash by Elegance, formerly known as Dana Brooke, Danhausen, formerly known as Very Nice, Very
Danhausen?
Evil. Yeah, Very Nice, Very Evil. Raj Desi, formerly known as Jinder Mahal, Matt Riddle, formerly known as Matt Riddle, Nick Nemeth, formerly known as
Defendant number 1.
The Bollywood Boys, formerly known as, what were they called in The E? They were called.
I don't think they had a nickname. Had a tag team name. They were just.
Oh, there we go. And Lena Cross, always known as fucking awesome. Yeah. They've all been announced.
Also, Irie, what's his name? The Australian champion. Oh, Shiggy, and Prince Akeem got announced too.
Oh wow!
This week as well.
It's one heck of a show. It really is.
So yeah, I forgot to add that because my week has been hectic. But yeah, Prince Akeem got named this, and I'm just saying right now to World Series Wrestling Shiggy, thank you, Shiggy. That's what I wanted to say because I just call him Shiggy. Shigeru Irie, has been named as well.
Irie has been announced as well. Of course, Shigeru Irie was a big part of Progress for a lot of years. So if you're a fan of Progress, and who isn't, go and see it.
Sydney Akeem got named this week, and I'm just saying right now for Brisbane, put Mitch in there with him.
Yeah,
because it's going to be that would be a hell of a match. I'm just saying.
They will beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Tickets for that are around. I think most of them are around like 80 to 90% sold. So if you want to get to that tour, I would get on it.
I know that Melbourne is very, very, very sold. I know that for a fact. Look, there is so much good stuff going on. And speaking of good stuff and future shows, we're going to have a look at some stuff in our break. But before we do, have a look at the clothing you're wearing. Is it as schmick and as nice as the Making Chicken Salad Wrestle Radio Australia merch? Probably not. Let's be honest. And also, has it helped a charity? Almost definitely not. So, while we're at a break, go to Redbubble and buy yourself a shirt or any number of other stuff that we've got up there. We've got our 10th anniversary shirt. We've got the WRA logo shirt. We've got a bunch of other stuff. Go and grab something now, and when you come back, I'll give you a Smartie. There you go. Speaking of being smart, we've got a break coming up. Todd, what's in the break?
Just a whole lot of MCW stuff. So about 5 minutes. We'll be right back after this.
That's it. No. Eugenie suspended. You tell her we can't have that. We're not having that. No. She's gone, okay? Are you okay? No. What?
Listen.
What? Darling. We need you to recover. Are you okay?
I need this.
You need what?
I need to do this. Don't do it.
You're not fighting her again. You're not doing this, okay? We need to make you better, okay? You're not fighting her again, okay?
I need this. I need this.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Erica Reed, your ancestors told you that you're a warrior. My ancestors told me that I am the warrior. And tonight, I prove that. So at Endgame, I'm gonna take everything from you. Why? Because I can.
At the start of the year, I said my goal was the World Heavyweight Championship. Then the Icons brought you in, Ricky, with the sole purpose of putting me down. At Vendetta, you showed me the kind of game that you want to play. And tonight I gave you just a glimpse of how well I can play that game. I don't know if the Icons gave you the full scope of what you've involved yourself in, but all year I have tried to be a good boy. But it is clear now that as long as you stand, you will stand in my way. So since you insist on getting involved in my business, since you insist on trying to take me out, on trying to be a part of my world, then let me extend a formal invitation to Edward Dusk's world. Ricky South, at Endgame, I invite you to enter the sacrament.
Edward Dusk, it was never personal between you and me. It was just business. It was my business to make sure you never got the MCW Heavyweight Championship. But you made it personal. You made it personal when you decided to make me bleed, when you decided to try and put me on the shelf. I am pissed off. I am sick of you speaking in riddles, holier than thou art bullshit. I will say this clearly. I accept your challenge for the sacrament at Endgame, because nothing will be sweeter than beating you at your own sick, twisted game. This is personal. I am going to make an example out of Edward Dusk at Endgame.
Kick off your AEW Grand Slam weekend the right way with an unforgettable night of wrestling action at the iconic Eaton's Hill Hotel in Brisbane on Friday, February the 14th, as Pro Wrestling League and Renegades of Wrestling present the Australian Wrestling Super Show. With an open door policy, expect the unexpected. You never know who might appear to shake things up. Whether you're a long-time fan or new to the Australian wrestling scene, this is the perfect way to start your weekend off with a bang. Get your tickets now from oztix.com.au and don't miss this incredible night of Australian wrestling action.
Well, there you
Every
go.
time. Every time.
I should get you to tell me what the last one is. So
The last one is always the Super Show. The last one is always the Super Show.
I'll remember that. Actually, I'll probably forget it by the time next week.
Yeah, I know you will.
Because what am I doing? Anyway, welcome back. Let's do this thing. This goes out to our good friend Lachlan in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was a good clap. Welcome back to Making Chicken Salad with me, your fill-in host, Jeff Setti, and Toddy the Brain Eastman. I thought you'd like that, by the way. I thought that would make you pop.
I did. It did pop me. Yeah, it did. Inside, I got a little warm.
Oh, good. Because I know he's your idol, as he should be, and for everyone, really. If Heyman's not, he should be. Speaking of some of these great managers, we're now going to talk about international wrestling. First one, I do want to dive into this a little bit. Motor City Machine Guns are the new WWE Tag Team Champions. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin defeated the Bloodlines, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa in the main event of Friday's WWE SmackDown at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, in their third match in the promotion. Motor City Machine Guns defeated DIY in a number one contenders match on Friday's SmackDown. And they were then confronted by the Bloodline Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tonga, and Loa. SmackDown GM Nick Aldis then signed an impromptu tag title match, main event for the show, which the Machine Guns took out quite quickly. What did you think of this? With interference from the Usos, I might add.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't hate it because they're obviously going somewhere. They're going somewhere off with the Bloodline, which does not need the titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why not put them on guys like the Machine Guns, who can put on matches with anyone, and they're going to be amazing.
Yeah.
They brought them in as big deals, and they've kept them as big deals. And of course, they got a little bit of help to win them, but they've just been through a match against DIY. So it's not like they were in there fresh, and that's how they won the titles. Something had to have happened to do it, which I don't mind.
Yeah. I like this a lot. I would have preferred if the Machine Guns were around for maybe one more week and maybe had one other match. Just like put them in against anyone. Just because I get they're a big deal and they're a fucking amazing tag team, and you get they're a big deal and they're a fucking amazing tag team. But some fans of WWE are not fans of wrestling; they're fans of WWE, and they may be sitting there going, "Who are these guys?"
Yeah. But I will say, like, at least commentary do a massive job of putting them over as
a fantastic job,
like
just
legends.
a great.
Do you know what I mean? Like, put them over massively as being like a big deal.
They do. I agree with you on that. I did thoroughly enjoy this. I thought Solo making GM making Aldous pop when he was impersonating Saban was one of the funniest things I've seen. It was just so funny. And they're really clearly letting Solo now show some personality, which was missing to this point.
Yeah, I like when Solo isn't just trying to be Roman.
Yeah. And they're clearly going, well, he's a funny guy. Let him be funny. I think we agree that this was kind of good. From October 29th, so just a couple of days ago, WWE announced the launch of a first of its kind of developmental program designed to provide up-and-coming independent wrestlers a pathway to a potential career in WWE. The program will be called WWEID'd, which is short for WWE Independent Development. Excuse me, I became Kurt Angle for a second there. WWEID'd is the latest in our efforts to identify and support the journey of up-and-coming wrestlers, in turn raising the profile and strengthening the independent wrestling ecosystem. That's what Paul Levesque, Triple H, said. Following the 2021 launch of WWE's NIL program, WWEID'd has been constructed to support independent wrestling prospects and wrestling schools with world-class training, development, and mentorship. Under the program, WWE will provide prominent independent wrestling schools with the WWEID'd designation, with the goal of providing new trainees and existing talent at these select institutions with enhanced developmental opportunities. To begin with, Booker T's Reality of Wrestling in Houston, Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory in Atlanta, Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Academy in Davenport, Iowa, the Elite Pro Wrestling Training Center in Concord, New Hampshire, and Knox X Pro Academy in Los Angeles are the first WWEID'd independent training schools to earn the official designation. Additionally, WWEID'd will identify top independent wrestling prospects with an official WWEID'd prospect designation and show their developmental journey by providing financial opportunity and assisting with training, mentorship, and development, including access to world-class facilities, best-in-ring training, athletic trainers, and more. WWEID'd will give fans opportunity to follow the paths of these standout prospects on the independent wrestling scene through curated behind-the-scenes content, as well as highlights and matches showcased across WWE's social platforms. There's a lot to unpack in that. Todd, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a really good step because it's funny when you look at it, when you look at the announcement, then you see on X, all the fans hate it, all the independent wrestlers love it. You know what I mean? It's very, but like as the day's gone on, because it's been like a day since this is like the news broke. The news broke like yesterday that this had happened. So more stuff is sort of like leaking out. Apparently there were already like 8 to 10 wrestlers that are already under WWEID'd contracts. And nobody's known about it for months, which tells me that they're not interfering with them.
No.
They're letting them do all their own bookings. They're doing all these things. All they're doing is giving them maybe a bit of a stipend to help them with like gear, maybe like gym memberships, I don't know, training, like pay for training, stuff like that. Basically what NIL is for the college guys. Like, here, we're going to give you this to help you along. And like, if we want to sign you one day and you wish to do that, then you know how we've been treating you for the last X amount of years. It's, from what I hear, it's not enough for them to live on, but it's enough to help them out.
What I consider really interesting about this is Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory, of course, is one of the first groups signed up. The head trainer of Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory is Cody's brother. Cody's brother is an aide.
Different school.
Different school. Right.
Dustin's got his own school.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
There you go.
And I only know that because Yeet Stevens went and trained over there.
Right. There you go.
know,
Interestingly enough,
totally different
Undertaker
school.
this week said that Goldust or Dustin Reynolds has to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Like, it absolutely has to. And, like, I don't follow much of The Undertaker as a person, but no argument from me. Look, I think this is terrific, personally. I think this is also, like, they're not taking talent. Like, I've read somewhere people going, oh, they're taking talent away from AEW by doing this. No, they're not. They're absolutely not. Look at how many talented individuals are in AEW that are not even shown on screen.
And also, for those diehard AEW fans, I hate to break this to you, but that's how Nick Wayne was signed.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he was 18. Well, before he was 18. He signed a contract that said, when I'm 18, I'm going to sign with you guys.
Mm.
So he was basically under a WWEID'd.
There's nothing wrong with it. I would suggest we skip the next item because it's probably going to be involved with chicken salad.
Oh, okay. But before we move on from that, I also like the idea of training schools being designated like WWEID'd schools, because for people outside, that tells if I look at that school, I go, okay, that school's obviously doing things the right way because they're an accredited school. If that makes sense.
It also makes you closer for TV ready. Because wrestling in a ring in front of 150, 200 people doesn't mean you're TV ready. You still need to have certain training to be TV ready. The world is catching up to that, but they're still not quite there. Can you see can you see this going international? I kind of can.
Yeah, because as soon as it happened, there was chat about it, and what do you think, Australian schools, if there were, and PWA was mentioned as a school that would be a good shot, but then I think PWA is very tied in with New Japan and Tamashii. I could see somewhere like Riot City, 100% being they've just given them two of their massive WWE female superstars. Why wouldn't you go? Oh, maybe they're doing something right. We might want to work with those guys. And as far as I know, this whole thing is there's no money changing hands between WWE and the schools.
No.
So it's not like they're paying them and say they're not taking them over. They're not doing anything like that. They're just saying, look, we will help you out in other ways. And if a wrestler doesn't want to sign with WWE, no being part of this program will make them want to sign with WWE. They're going to want to go to New Japan or they want to go to AEW, depending on what they want to do. So I don't see the big deal in it. As far as I know, as far as I can see, you would take as much help as you can because you're not signing a contract.
And as Alex Firehart has said, why have one feeder, fed or school when you can have 5? They're quite right on that. I consider that a really, really good point. Also, why focus on Florida when you can focus on, at the same time, on Adelaide and Melbourne and Glasgow and England and Houston and Atlanta and Concord and Davenport and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It makes
sense.
Just
and this isn't Vince's WWE. That's what I think we need to drum out of some of these people. Everyone's going, oh, they're just going to take it over the way they took over England and ruin the English independence. This isn't Vince's WWE anymore.
No.
In the past year, we've seen Nakamura and Styles do and Sky do Japanese dates in promotions.
3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, Grayson Waller was in Sydney.
Exactly. Last weekend, Finn Balor and JD McDonough went and worked, I think it's Irish Whip Pro, whatever it's called, over in Ireland. Their home promotion. The times have changed. They want to work with independent promotions now. They don't want to take them over. They just want to work with them because it's so much better than, if you take something over, then you've got to look after it. Screw that. Let someone else look after it. Help them out when you can and go, hey, that guy, can I talk to this guy? I don't understand what this is. Yeah.
It's also a lot of, if NXT UK, yes, it was a tough break for NXT UK to come along just as the pandemic started, which is very unfortunate. But it also showed that it didn't quite work.
No.
Like, it didn't quite work. And if it didn't work there, it's not going to work in Australia. It's probably not going to work in Japan because NJPW has such a stronghold amongst wrestling fans. And Noah and AJPW, there's just too much competition. So this is a great way to keep an eye on that talent without actually like involving yourself fully and without having to pay a full-time wrestling wage or even a guaranteed downside minimum.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I don't know how many independent wrestlers do you know that wouldn't have someone wouldn't enjoy that wouldn't like WWE or someone like that going, look, we think you've got something. We don't think you're quite there to be signed yet. We would like to try and help you, like support you in your growth. So how's about X amount of dollars a month for you can upgrade your ring gear. You can make sure you're already tanned. Here's for your gym membership. All of that sort of stuff. You'd be a fool to say no.
Of course you would. Of course you would. I mean, you know the world more than I do. Is there something like this for UFC? Just because of the Endeavor League.
Yeah. I know UFC works in a lot with the independent promotions though. Like the UFC TV, their streaming service, they do have a lot of the smaller independent promotions on their service.
Right.
So I imagine it works like that. And when they're good enough, then they graduate to like UFC. Also, I was listening today to Post Wrestling, and it's also a good way for WWE to protect themselves against the whole antitrust stuff that's been coming up. Because they're helping them, they're not trying to cut them out. They're like, here, we're helping the independent scene. We're not trying to kill it. So it would be against their better interest to do that.
Yeah, it would be. Okay, let's skip over that. Alex Firehearts just said, makes me wonder if picking a Fed in Europe is the replacement for the, I assume now completely dropped idea for NXT Europe or whatever it was. Yeah, you know, who knows? The Natural 1-7 says they have Eternal here in Australia, and from there can be seen and earn direct contact direct or through a Dana White Contender Series. Oh, you're talking about UFC.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell's Eternal?
Yeah, you lost me there for a second.
Edward Dusk?
Yeah, I thought, what's Dusky doing now? Aside from wanting to fight Lachlan. Also, next week's NXT. It's at the ECW Arena, the 2300 in Philly. It will feature ECW originals Bubba Ray, RVD, Dawn Marie, Francine, and heavily hinted at Nunzio or Little Guido, with Bubba and RVD being included in matches, and Dawn as a special guest referee. I'm at the point now where I'm going, stop with ECW bullshit. Just stop. Enough.
I don't mind it. It's a one-off thing. It's not like they're carrying it on. They're going to the 2300 Arena. They're making an event out of it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just make an event out of it? And you can't tell me that the next week watching Old Mate with Little Guido is not going to be amazing.
It'll be fun. But you got to think that Heyman is going to show up somewhere.
If he shows up this week on SmackDown, and then Crown Jewel, I can't see him doing it unless that, because I can't see them, I don't want to say wasting, but I can't see them wasting his first appearance since getting put through a table or whatever happened at ECW.
I'm not saying he needs to appear, but he could do a voiceover.
Oh yeah, that might happen, but yeah, I don't mind it, and the way that they've done it, they're doing it like sure, Bubba is in the main event, but they did a whole storyline to lead into that from the Halloween Havoc and all of that, and he's probably going to be the one that takes the L. Who knows? He's probably the one that takes the pin.
Well, you'd hope.
Yeah, and RVD, it looks like RVD could be with like Javon Evans and Wesley. Tell me you don't want to see that match.
That'd be fun. But I kind of agree with Alex Fireheart's statement. I mean, they said the dead horse is now a skeleton. Fucking oath it is. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I would completely agree with you if it was guys like if you were bringing Tommy Dreamer out or if you're bringing Sandman out to wrestle. You're bringing like guys that can't like RVD was on AEW TV this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's still good. He's still good. I think Bubba was on TNA pay-per-view last weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean these guys have still got their finger in the pie. They're still wrestling on a fairly regular basis.
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I'm just going to move on because I'm not.
Yes.
This one.
I know.
I don't like. But Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez attacked Rhea Ripley on NXT. It was then reported that Ripley is out for an undisclosed amount of time after suffering a fractured right orbital socket, according to WWE. To which I say, ow, ow. Rhea's been cursed a bit this year, I think.
Yeah, I'd like to know when that actually happened. Like I said to you off air, because I can't remember any spots during a match where it might have happened, but I don't know. It absolutely sucks. Absolutely sucks because she's just come back from the shoulder.
I mean, it's October. It is possible she could be back for the Rumble.
Yeah, I don't know how long it takes for. I mean, you can still wear that mask thing too. So
yeah.
Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Let's put it that way.
Repair time.
Don't worry about the next one.
Yeah, it's too long an article to.
Let's just talk about Crown Jewel.
Okay, Crown Jewel is coming up, and you and I are the two members of the panel that actually watch it because obviously Lachlan, for political reasons, won't, and I understand that. I'm not going to watch it till Monday, to be honest, so no spoilers in our chat, please. Todd, there are matches I care about more than others. The Crown Jewel Championship, which I do not care about at all. The undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes is going up against the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Who's going to win it and how and why, Todd?
Cody's going to win it because Goldberg's going to interfere.
Yeah, Goldberg is definitely going to interfere. I just... Please no. You can see it happening. You don't want
Please no.
You can see it happening and you don't want it to. Because Gunther's now getting pretty much face reactions because he's so fucking good. And very funny. WWE Crown Jewel Championship for the women's champion, Nia Jax against the women's world champion, Liv Morgan. Who's going to win that and why?
I don't care about this one.
No.
Because they're two heels.
It's hard
two heels, so I don't really care. There's no one I like going into this. I hate Nia Jax. I've just never liked Nia Jax. Period. So I'm going to go for anyone. It'll probably be Liv.
So much as a worker, though.
Yeah, I just don't like her. So,
yeah.
But yeah, if it was anyone, I was looking at you've seen the title, right? The design for the title.
It's so bad.
Because both the side plates look like the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know why you wouldn't have made one side plate look like that, then the other side plate look like the WWE one, being that it's a Grand Championship. I just don't know why you wouldn't have done that. It mightn't looked as good, but I just think it would look better personally. But I don't care about that. I really don't and it's got nothing to do with women's wrestling at all. I don't. There's two heels going into it, so who am I supposed to like?
Your United States champion, LA Knight, defending against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes in a triple threat. Yeah, it's a thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Look at you.
This one.
Look at you saying the catchphrase.
I know you love catching me saying the opposite of nut. It's hard to care about this one just because Andrade and Carmelo have fought so much. It's just been non-stop. It's been
but it hasn't sucked. It's not like it sucked.
No, it hasn't sucked.
They've all been really good matches.
They have all been great. I didn't like the last one too much.
Because LA Knight ruined it, really.
Because LA Knight, I wanted to see a definitive end, which is understandable. Look, I think this will be a good match. In all seriousness, I think this will be a good match. I think LA Knight can go. I think Andrade can go, and I think Carmelo is phenomenal. But I'm not inspired to see it, and I think that's slightly problematic. What are your thoughts?
I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I want to see if LA Knight can actually hang with these two guys.
Yeah, I get it, and I understand that. From there, we have Bianca Belair, our Women's World Tag Team Championship. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defending against Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven in a four-way. Who's going to win that?
I don't know. Like, my head says Bianca and Jade are just going to win it because it's really a nothing pay-per-view. I'd love for Piper and Green to win it, just because I think there's more that those two could do.
So fun.
Like what?
But
so I can also see a world where Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson get into it. Do you know what I mean? Just because it gives them, there's someone who's not had it before, and they can, yeah.
It's interesting. Someone last week said that they can see, and I can't remember exactly who it was, they can see Legend and Jackson becoming Cargill's minions in evil doing. And that's not a bad idea. But
no, that's not a bad idea at all.
I really want Chelsea Green and Piper Niven to win this, because I think it will be hilarious and so much fun to see Chelsea with a title and just the reaction. And let's be honest, she pretty much is a face now. Like, she's getting such face reactions as well. Because it's one of those things where it was like Kurt Angle back in the day, where you'd boo his actions, but you'd cheer the fact that you're getting to see Kurt Angle, who still one of the greatest of all time. Now the three matches I'm actually remotely interested in. Randy Orton against Kevin Owens.
Looking forward to it. Kevin's got to win it, though, I think.
Yeah, Kevin's got to win it. Cement his heel turn, and he wins it by being a complete bastard.
Yeah. And maybe he causes Cody to lose to Gunther.
Yeah, maybe. I like the idea of that ending in a referee stoppage, like Kevin just going to town on him and Orton being unable to respond. Orton will lose nothing from that.
Especially after the promo with Orton and Triple H.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not trying to save Kevin from you. I'm trying to save you from Kevin.
Yeah, they've kind of set it up, actually, to be a referee stoppage. And we've had referee, like where he does the pop-up powerbomb on the ring apron a few times.
Yeah.
Orton can't respond. And then the referee cancels it, and then Owens, walks away and comes back around and gives him another one. Brilliant. What a great way to end the match. Seth Rollins against Big Bad Jonah, Bronson Reed. Who's going to take that?
I hope Bronson. I had a feeling it might be Seth, just because Seth's been taking an absolute pounding lately. He's been getting absolutely... But, quietly, I want Bronson's shirt. I love that new shirt he's got coming out.
Oh, that new shirt's amazing.
I love that new shirt.
It's amazing. Look, the fact that they're featuring Bronson so prominently, I think that he is... I think he might win this, and then Seth will get revenge after the bell, and they'll have another match later.
See, I think it might be the other way around. I think Seth might squeak out a win, and Bronson sort of does the Eugenie.
Yeah. See, now we've got Eugenie, if you're listening. Now you're a verb.
Yeah, does the Eugenie.
And then...
Well, you can't call it the old name for it anymore, because that's not politically correct.
No, you can't.
No.
And finally, and I'm trying to run away from that as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I thought I'd try.
Finally, the old bloodline against the new bloodline. Roman Reigns, Jimmy, and Jey Uso against three of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa.
We know which three. Come on.
Yeah.
Everyone knows which three.
Solo, Jacob, and Tama.
It's not fucking Botchamania Loa, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, what's going to happen and why?
There's either going to be another bloodline member, but I can't see that because there's already four guys. Or they're going to bring out another, Roman's going to bring out, Tola Tonga or someone like that. You know what I mean? Or Sammy. because it was already that hinted. But I don't know if Sammy goes to Crown Jewel.
I think he does now. I think that the issues there are no longer there. I do have a quick question that's not on this, and it is WWE news. Just before we go on, on Monday a week ago, there was a really nice match between Sami Zayn. Did you see the match between Sami Zayn and Bronson Reed? No, Jay Uso and Bronson Reed, where Jay lost the title to Bronson. Did you hear that crowd reaction to Bron Breakker and Jacob just doing a second of a look? What do you think? Do you think they're already sort of going, we could do that at WrestleMania and that'd be something?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a way, like I kept seeing a lot of things after it saying maybe Breaker's in that Survivor, the War Games match as the extra person. Like that's what, like that, because just off the strength of that, like standoff. I just want him to just keep doing his Intercontinental thing for a while. Let's keep him away from the bloodline, keep him away from that. Just for a little while. Let's get a little bit of more killer into Bron Breakker before we pull him into that tangled web they weave.
I think that's really cool. The other thing I'm finding really cool in WWE, this is not chicken shit or chicken salad. It's not strong enough to be on chicken salad, but R-Truth's Twitter game has been so funny this week.
That promo this week with him and Miz, when he pretended like he'd made up with the Miz and then punched him in the face.
Yeah.
Like, wow, it's going to kill you!
It's so good. It's like, don't do the voice. Probably not a good idea, but it's so good.
Come on. Fucking Jesus.
Well, just, it's 2024. Got to be careful. But it was, R-Truth's Twitter game was amazing. It's Mike Mizzanen's birthday this week. And R-Truth said, I hope that both sides of your pillow are really cold and you wake up with crumbs in the bed. It was just
Did you see that? Did you see the Raw Talk thing too, where they had like Miz got abducted by the Wyatts? Well, like in the background of the promo with the New Day were kind of arguing, and like Miz is just walking past like the coach, one of the coach doors, and the coach door opens up, and the dreads come out and just drag him into the thing. And then there was a promo on X with Scarlett and Killian. What's his name? Killian?
Killer Cross.
Carrion Cross. Where she tells him that he gets that Miz has been abducted, and he's just sort of like, yeah, how long's it been? 20 minutes? He's probably dead. Don't worry about it. It was really good. Really well done.
That's very funny. Moving on with some AEW news. Bobby Lashley has made his debut on Wednesday's AEW Friday Night Dynamite by leading a beatdown of Swerve Strickland. Of course, he will not be on the show for 6 months, and people will start asking where he is. Private Party unseated the Young Bucks on Wednesday's AEW Friday Night Dynamite to both win the AEW Tag Team titles and avoid splitting up as a team. About 4 weeks too late, but there you go. Yes, these are my own editorials, don't worry. CMLL has announced that Lloyd Nightingale suffered a concussion on Friday's show in Arena, Mexico during the Women's International Grand Prix match. This has been pulled from CMLL events on Saturday and Sunday. That is terrible. I hope that Willow is okay. Saturday, the 23rd of November, we'll see AEW Full Gear 2024. AEW World Champion Jon Moxley will defend against Orange Cassidy. MJF versus Adam Cole or Roderick Strong, depending on who wins 3 matches first, and Jay White against Hangman Page, plus another 804 matches to be announced.
Yeah, I like the it feels very anticlimactic that they sort of hot shot Private Party into those tag titles. I don't know if there was a reason for that or what they did, but there wasn't really a hell of a build up going into it, and it sort of killed the whole like side storyline with Private Party and what's his name? Was Statlander's manager Stokely?
Stokely.
Yeah, because that was like a side little storyline that was going on. They couldn't win because they had no one to listen to, and he was going to be the mentor. And then now they've won the tag titles. I guess that's dead in the water now. So we'll see. I haven't actually watched Dynamite yet, so I've only watched select things.
Welcome to 1999's WCW. And as Alex Fireheart says, I hope they don't immediately drop them at Full Gear. Me too. Give them a decent run. Some very, very sad news in NJPW Indie. ELP, El Phantasmo, says doctors have found a little tumor of cancer. So El Phantasmo is now taking indefinite leave from NJPW. Very, very, very sorry to hear this, ELP. I hope, and on behalf of all of us here at Naked Chicken Salad, we do hope you take care of yourself and that you become cancer-free in rapid time and get back to entertaining.
He didn't seem that worried about it in everything that I've read. So hopefully this is just a small thing that they can look. It's very operable.
Yeah.
But we need to treat this.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what that is.
Fingers crossed. Also some sad news for Chris Bay. Chris Bay injured himself during a tag as the Hardys at TNA's post-Bound for Glory's television taping in Detroit on Sunday. After being stretchered out, he was taken to the hospital and underwent surgery. So TNA Wrestling posted a statement from Chris Bay on Tuesday where he thanked everyone in the promotion, his friends, his families, the fans, the medical staff that treated him. Bay knows the journey ahead will be long and challenging, but he is grateful to have everyone praying for him. He said, and I quote, "I just want to take a few minutes to extend my heartfelt thanks and deepest appreciation for so much and to so many over the past few days. From everyone at TNA Wrestling to the incredible medical staff here in Detroit, to family, friends, and fans worldwide." Bay said, "I know you have been praying for my full recovery from the in-ring accident this past Sunday. Monday was day one for me on this journey, which I know will be long and challenging. Thanks again for the love and support, and please keep the prayers coming." He's obviously going to be out for a fair while.
Yeah, it's a neck injury. But the only thing that, it was a neck injury. So the only thing that it's not that I don't like, but I hate that they didn't say he has full range of motion, or he has, you know what I mean? Like they haven't mentioned anything about that just yet. So I'm a little bit worried about how severe this injury is. But like I know there is a GoFundMe set up, and I think it's gotten like $70,000 so far.
Amazing.
So.
Amazing.
Yeah, if you want to, please do go and donate to it because it's going to be a while before he's back in the ring, I feel.
And Chris Bay is a very important and liked wrestler, and he's good. He backs it up in the ring.
Chris Bay is that liked a wrestler that in El Phantasmo's statement about his cancer, shouted out Chris Bay and say, please go and support Chris.
Amazing. That shows you the quality of the man himself. TNA put on an interesting, and I won't say it was a great pay-per-view because I don't think, and Jamie has said as well, the secrecy around it is incredibly concerning. Ironically, the statement before that on our feed is Alex said they're glad it was caught before it was a much worse issue. I think they mean El Phantasmo's cancer.
I think that was about ELP, yeah.
I think that's about ELP. The Bound for Glory show wasn't great, but there was a to be Lachlan for a second, there was a Speedball Mike Bailey El Vikingo match, which was absolutely amazing. Just a phenomenal match, as you can imagine. So check that out.
Please watch that because it's probably going to be the last one for a little while for Vikingo as well.
El Hill
with the next story.
Del Vikingo, which we're about to get to now. He was also injured doing a sky twister and springboarding to the floor, and his leg buckled earlier in the show in a match against Trent Seven. After being out of action for more than 7 months, Vikingo had just made his in-ring return to AAA in a late September trios match. 27-year-old was out of action since he suffered a torn meniscus and ruptured ligament in a match in February in Mexico. Of course, it's just one of those freaky things. I mean, Trent Seven is a pro. No one to blame.
No, and just really sucks for someone to just come back and like knees suck.
Knees are very. There's so many tendons and things running into knees that it's easy to know exactly what's going on. And as Jamie has said, very rough weekend for TNA. Very rough weekend. So
rough weekend post Bound for Glory. Yeah. Like going in Bound for Glory and going in for Bound for Glory, no injuries. Like the taping straight after Bound for Glory is when both of those guys went down Vikingo and Bay both went down on the taping after Bound for Glory.
Yeah, that's really a shame. But at least they get to sit home and eat a lot of chicken salad, which is the name of our show. And hopefully they eat more chicken salad than chicken shit. And that's what we're going to talk about now, is some of the things we don't like within the world of wrestling. Todd, have you got anything you'd like to talk about, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first if you want, because mine is probably just a little bit different. So,
the very idea that Vincent Kennedy McMahon can return and do anything in the world of entertainment is horrifying. It's strongly rumored that he is starting up an entertainment company, and I just want that man to fuck off. There you go. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
It's unfortunate because he hasn't actually been charged or convicted of anything. You can't really stop him from doing it, even though you don't want him to do it.
It's been quoted that he is waiting till he is announced innocent to launch this entertainment company.
Well, he's going to have to, because he probably won't have the money if it doesn't happen. So
no, and I can tell you that there's too much noise around this for him to be innocent. But the nice thing is that, and I just want to note this, that Alex Firehouse, it seems like TNA are doing an auction to help raise money for Chris Bay. So good on TNA for doing that.
Yeah. So I've got two. So my first one's more of a joke than a chicken shit, but it's a joke chicken shit.
Okay.
So we all know that like the cockroach, DMDU can't die. But I find it amazingly funny that the first match that they announce is a fans bring your own weapons match. They're trying to crowdsource weapons now.
Yeah.
You think the last thing they'd do is like, can you guys bring something? Like, bring a plate as well. Can you? Can you bring a plate?
Yeah.
Can someone bring a 6-pack? Because we need to sell some drinks as well.
Yeah, can you bring some money? Because we're still trying to buy a fucking facility. Appalling.
Yes.
Appalling.
Dear. And my second one, and I know this is one that Jamie has been waiting for. FWA. Our friends over there at FWA. I knew a week ago because it was kind of leaked to me, because it was announced in their staff thing, and like 5 people sent it to me straight away, that they were going to be postponing, cancelling their event that was supposed to be happening in November. So I just put up, now I've pretty much got bookmarked the thing I put up every time they cancel a show. And I was like, it's that time of year again, cancel. Which meant old mate went on and called me a stooge. He went on his personal thing, because like I got shown that as well. Called me a stooge, and then my head should go up either someone's ass or my own ass or his ass. I'm not sure whose ass. It's much like his promos, they make no sense. What I would say, mate, and I say this to you like with all the kindness in my heart I possibly can. How the fuck am I the stooge when every show that I promote gets run? Because we make sure all the money is ready to go. Make sure all your fucking money's ready to go, mate. Stop trying to get internationals over when you can't afford it. Try actually affording the event to start with. And I'm sick of like saying this stuff to you. So now I think I'm going to say this to the guys and girls that work the shows. Because I think you guys need to protect yourselves from now on. You guys need to say, hey, that's cool, man. You've cancelled every show since May. So, yeah, I'm going to hold this date for you, but that'll be a $50 fee. You give me $50 and I'll make sure I'm there for that date. And if I'm flying from interstate, you have to pay for that trans. Because you keep cancelling shows and I can't keep doing this.
Well, I think if you say it's $50 and I'll hold the date for you, but it comes off my fee, that's
100%, 100%. But
fine.
You should not be trying to run shows if you don't already have the money to run the show. Don't announce the show. Don't advertise the show. Don't take money from people, even though you have to. Because, like, fair play. Every time he cancels it, he, like, says we're going to work with blah blah to refund your money. still that is a hassle for fans. You're putting the fans out because every time this happens and they want a refund, they got to go through the rigmarole of getting that money back. Mm-hmm. Have all your money ready for a show, then advertise the show, then run the show. Like, I know you lose money on shows because I saw the crowd in the last one because you get like 10 minutes for free on Triller. So I thought, I'll watch the first 10 minutes and see what it looks like. And there was no one in the crowd. So you're not making any money. You're not doing... I understand that you want to do this because this is something that you love. Maybe it's just not for you, bro. It sucks, but yeah. But for the workers, protect yourselves, please. I'm begging you. If you want to do it off your own bat and you want to risk that stuff, that is all on you. 100%. But just protect yourselves. Because every show since May, I think it was supposed to be one in August, that got delayed till, was supposed to be, November or October. Then that got delayed to November. Now that's been delayed, and he set a date in the group, but then he's changed that to for the unforeseeable future. There's no more shows, which is good. Like, hopefully that is a clarion bell to him. Less than 30 in the crowd, says Jamie Apps. Thank you. That is a clarion bell to him to go, hey, maybe I need to get all the money to run the show before I start advertising the show. Because that's what normal people do. So, and that, my friend, that's fucking, if you're doing it and you're constantly screwing over the fans, screwing over the wrestlers who are holding dates for you, then you're not doing the best for yourself, you're not doing the best for your name, you're not doing the best for your company's name, you're not doing the best for Australian wrestling. You're letting yourself down, you're letting Australian wrestling down. Simple
and really,
as that.
You know, we're not, and I know Todd well enough to know he doesn't kick people when they're down. So he's not trying to kick you when you're down. He's trying to give you advice. He's trying to actually give you sage advice, and he's being really nice to you. Please listen. Please listen. And for
Somebody
the workers out
there, somebody asked me, like, you worried he's going to challenge you a fight? I said, no, because you'll probably fucking postpone it.
Sorry. That's funny.
Sorry, I couldn't.
That's
but
funny.
yeah, like, mate, if we're looking at 2 photos of me and 2 photos of you, pretty sure I know which one is the stooge in that photo.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, so we've spoken about the things we don't like. I think now it's time we speak about the things that we do. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first because I'm afraid you might steal it.
I think we've got to show one anyway. We've got to show one.
Yeah. The show one's fine. But I mentioned earlier that I didn't really watch Dynamite. There was a few things I did watch.
Yeah.
The one thing I made sure I watched was Mark Davis coming back out.
Isn't that great?
I fucking love that.
Isn't that
I love the fact that he's out there in something with Kyle, and it's obviously leading to something more, which is going to be great to see. But I just love the fact that we got to go and see him. We got to see him come back out, and he looks in great shape. So, like, yeah, seeing Dougzilla out there again. Can't wait till we actually see him actually in the ring, getting to work.
I wasn't going to take that. That was
but you do like 1,500.
No,
so if I don't do my one, it's bound to get caught somehow.
No, I don't. There's just a couple of things I want to mention. Really, there's 2. One of which will be a show one because we haven't mentioned it yet. We purposefully didn't. Yeah. But before we mention the show one, really intriguing and fun work with the Bloodline storyline. Clearly, it's now definitely got Paul Heyman's fingerprints all over it, and it's so good and it's so wonderful to see that they're doing this thing where you're not interested. Oh shit, you're really interested. No, you're not. Yet you are, and it's so good and so satisfying. And really, it's hard to watch Blood Money pay-per-views, but they're going to make this one a little bit easier. The other thing, of course, is our mutual friend, because we have both, kind of know her a little bit, but our mutual friend has had her first match in WWE Looked amazing. There are people doing her makeup, like copying her makeup and putting it on Twitter and
It didn't take long, did it?
Instagram and the TikToks. And that is, of course, Zaria made her debut in NXT this week. Already in a very prominent position. She's part of a 10-man tag next week, which is really, really exciting in the old ECW arena. There's no doubt this is fantastic for Australian wrestling. And, whether you call her Delta, whether you call her Zaria, or whether you call her shoot name, that's just great.
Yeah. And like you said, and I think I was talking about this with Kate. I'm like they obviously are investing a hell of a lot in her for the fact that they had both champions out there to confront her. Both the North American and the NXT Women's Champion both want a piece of her, which is just which tells you NXT have 1,000 women on their roster, and they are pushing her over all of them at the moment.
NXT
which tells you a lot.
NXT is very much a women's dominated show.
Hell yeah, very much so.
4 out of 5 of the matches, and they're all great. That's not a negative, but
it's funny because they've got the best. They've got the best women's division in WWE NXT.
Easy.
Because you look and under Liv and Rhea in Raw, there's not that many.
No.
Under Tiffy and Nia, there's not a hell of a lot because the other girls are sort of caught up in the tag division at the moment.
Yeah. The only ones really are Bailey and Trinity. Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi.
Really is about it.
Yeah. And then to see the 10 of them just going at it in that the face off of the 10 women was just amazing. That was a moment where I was at work on my lunch break, I think, when it was on. So I was watching it at work. And when they faced off, I was just like, holy shit. And when's the last time you've done that when you've been watching women's wrestling on a mainstream promotion? Do you know what I mean?
I had a slightly different experience because I had some business to do during the day for my day job. Then I came home. I didn't know spoilers, and I was just I was watching it, and then as soon as that moment started, I was just the popcorn was out. I was there just munching it up. Really, really good. I have to bring the popcorn back here. OS Fire Hearts Chicken Salad, I got covered before, but their chicken salad would be Private Party winning the tag belts. Should have happened on the pay-per-view. Yes, it should have. But thank fuck the Bucks dropped them to a team that needed them rather than FTR for the 5 billionth time. Got to agree with you, Alex. Rhea posted. Andy from Bob Vance says Rhea posted a photo of herself with Jordan Grace and Zaria. Jordan replied by saying they should have walked to the car park. Indeed.
Yeah, good call.
It might still be an angle, but she's out for an undetermined amount of time.
If they are saying that she's got it might be an angle. The actual injury might be an angle, but if they're saying it's a fractured orbital bone, that's going to be a little while. And when she comes back, she'll have to wear a mask. Yeah. And if she comes back without wearing the mask, that tells me that it's probably a bit of fabe.
Yeah. I expect that they might put her on ice until the Rumble, as it were. Reports are that the X-ray they released is legit. So yeah, okay. So thank you, Andy from Bob Lance. That's great to know. There we go. That's about it. Except. Ask Jeff about WrestleBrania. WrestleBrania this weekend.
Hey, Jeff, what about WrestleBrania?
Thanks, Todd. I'm glad you asked. Never saw that. Jeff, thanks for asking. We are on in Geelong this weekend, this Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m. at Beeves Bar on both days. On Saturday, our guests are Will Walker, Tim Bolts from Bay FM, Charlie Rose, and Dane Simpson. Yeah. On Sunday, we have Chaos Country Kano. And I hope I said this name right. Taj Mudanti, who is an ethnic comedian. He's a very funny guy. We also have JXT and the always good Stuart. I can't remember. I can never remember Stuart's last name. But got a great cast. Come along. Normal gang are going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tickets are available now from the Geelong Comedy website. We want you to be in that room. Todd, do we have anything else to add?
No. So when's that show again, mate?
Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m. at Beeves Bar.
Okay. So how far is it from there to Ringwood for Ozpro? Will they make it in time?
Yeah, I think they would. I think Saturday would be close. But hey, you can come on Sunday anyway. So if you're worried about making Ozpro, you can come on Sunday. And
I know we haven't talked about it that much, but go and support Ozpro Wrestling. It's Andy Coyne's baby. And we haven't really talked about it a lot because I was trying to time out a good time when I could sit and talk to him about the show, and then I realized I'd lost time. Because I sort of wanted to space it out of when he did the interview with Turnbuckle and then when he did us, because back-to-back ones are sort of botched it up. But I might catch up with him after the show just for a bit of a wrap-up about how he went for his first show and that sort of stuff. But also the On the Turnbuckle thing, post-show, doing a live show until the food and drink run out for the bar. Get around that as well, because that's going to be good. Those boys always put on a funny show. Yeah,
it'll be really good. I know that Bros and Welch are leaving Brainier and going straight there. So, on the Saturday, I'll be driving from Bendigo to Geelong and back. That'll be fun. I've got commitments in Bendigo. Who's an idiot? So that's what's happening with WrestleBrania. I'll tell you what's happening here every Thursday night is we do Making Chicken Salad. Usually both Todd and I are involved, and we've got our good mate Lachlan Albert, who is away on private business this week. And you guys will join us as well. And we love having you in the chat. You can catch us on twitch.tv/WrestleRadio Australia. You can catch us on our socials, which is just look for us on Wrestle Radio Australia. We've got a website. You can have a look at the website. You can get our merch from Redbubble. You can follow Todd Eastman on @BeastEastman. You can follow me on @Jeff_Zeddy, and you can follow WrestleBrania @Wrestle_Brania. On Facebook, you can follow Todd. On Insta, you can follow Todd if he'll accept your friendship requests. I'm still waiting. And on Facebook and Insta, it's just WrestleBrania. You can look it up. You can have fun. We're planning some things for next year that are very, very, very exciting. And we can't wait to tell you about those. And we can't wait to come back next week. We don't know what we're looking at next week. So what are we looking at next week?
I don't know. I was just thinking about it then during the thing. I wanted actually before we go, I just have to explain. If you're listening to the podcast and I sound weird, it's because I had a front tooth knocked out by my dog, which is great. Luckily, I love them. Otherwise, I would boot them. Yeah. And I haven't had it fixed because I've got a match in the end of November, and I don't want to get it fixed and get it knocked out straight away. So, for those around the world and around the country, and especially for you, Flivey, here you go, mate. Someone knocked my tooth out. Are you happy? Someone got to do what you haven't been able to do. So, unfortunately, until then, I'm going to sound a little bit like the old man from Family Guy. Hello, Shani. But until then, yes.
He asked me not to mention it, and I wasn't going to.
I know, but I thought, talk about
I behaved myself well.
Yeah, I know. But it was, as I was talking, I'm like, wow, that just sounded stupid. That sounded weird. S's are really killing me. S's and F's are really killing me at the moment. So,
at least if it goes to Christmas, you can say, all I want for Christmas is my one front tooth.
One front tooth would be great.
There we go.
Yeah. Hey, if it's good enough for Mick Foley, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, exactly. Just dye the beard black and just bang, bang, a fair bit. There we are. There we are, ending with a reference of one of the greatest of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and allies, thank you so much for coming along and joining us tonight. Or if you're listening to this tomorrow, there's some great activities all over the weekend. Get along to WrestleBrania, get along to Andy Coyne's project. of Future Wrestling Australia. But go and buy some merch from Redbubble. And to sum up, that's been Todd Eastman. I've been Jeff Setti. And hang tooth.
Oh, you smart ass. Support Aussie wrestling.
Trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People live